Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. I appreciate you guys giving me a little bit extra time there. I needed to take it. All right. Just have a migraine and everything. I tried to take a bunch of Advil and see if that worked, and it wasn't working. At 8:30, I just absolutely was dead. I still feel pretty out of it, if I got to be honest with you guys. But we have a very big day today. I needed to talk about it, and hopefully you guys have come along for the ride as well. So, with that being said, let's jump into the news of the day. How's everybody? Everybody good? Let me make sure everything is good and functioning. All right. So, for the stories of the day, we have PayPal, Nubank, a little bit of Shopify if you guys let me get around to it. But that is me taking a couple liberties there. And then what else? Then we have SoFi, and yeah, we'll wrap it there. All right. Okay, they got backlash because WTF are they doing not providing business accounts in-house by now? I mean, yeah, so I think the truth is that they have an answer. They're not doing it for no reason. I think that they know, and they're not communicating it well as to why we do not have those products. Everyone say hi to Lisa. She's here every day. I don't think she misses a show these days. But we appreciate you being here, Lisa. Thank you so much. All right. So, first off, let's talk about some very exciting price action in the form of PayPal. So finally, I'm getting a little bit of love. Actually, wait. My whole set. See, my headache's just not doing good right now. I got my whole setup backwards here, but we'll straighten it all out, ladies and gentlemen. So, PayPal has finally hit a new 52-week high. Not all-time high. We got a long ways to go before we get there. And in fact, I'm not actually a believer that it will get there in a manner that I'll be holding it for. So, that being said, that doesn't mean that this stock can't see some pretty significant gains back up to, let's say, $100 a share. Is that in this rally? I'm not making that determination. What I am saying is that there are some pretty significant things that Alex Chris is doing that potentially the markets may like and start to favor. Now, the one in question today is actually very significant. I spoke yesterday about one of the strongest competitors that PayPal is going to have on their enterprise payment side is a sweet little company called Adyen. All right. Maybe you've heard of it. I've talked about it before. We've looked at investing in this company, and we did buy that company. I don't know. What was it? A couple months ago? 6 months ago? I mean, time flies. It's probably like a year ago at this point. But yeah, why not partner together? Now, they have actually been partnering for some time, but what this is actually signifying is a partnership to expand to PayPal Fastlane for their US consumers. The greatest part about Adyen is the fact that all of their customers are of enterprise level. Right? They don't really deal in SMB. Every customer that they have is doing some form of billions of dollars worth of payment or hundreds of millions of dollars worth of payment. So getting Fastlane into those customers' hands could be a very significant move, especially the fact whenever you realize that PayPal might actually start to charge extra for that product on top of what they're already charging for processing. Okay. So if they can increase conversions by that much, the time to actually end up going through the checkout, so making the experience better for the merchant and the experience better for the consumer, well, you can definitely charge a little bit extra for services like that. But this is very exciting. And another facet of this expansion is also the fact that they're only expanding into the United States right now. You can see this right here, right? Adyen will offer Fastlane in the US markets, with plans to expand this offering globally into the future. So obviously they're planning on expanding Fastlane globally. Are they planning on expanding it with Adyen? Hopefully so. One of the greatest features of Adyen is that they work all over the world, right? So very much like PayPal, they are as good as it gets. I mean, they are, among three top names of what you would consider really modern end-to-end payment solutions. You got Stripe, you got Adyen, you got PayPal, but for the most part, those are the names, right? There's not too many extras. There are a couple, right? Checkout.com and stuff like that, but really, Adyen is definitely up there, growing faster than ever. So good to pair there. One of the things that I saw, let me bring up X real quick, is Alex Chris's thoughts on this partnership, where he talks about, let me bring it up really quick. Alex Chris. Okay, so one, they're doing their developer day, which I can see here on his X here. So they're talking about Fastlane, getting it out to everyone. Awesome. Okay. Another thing that he talked about is this great quote that he says here. The strategic partnership demonstrates that PayPal is evolving into a platform of choice. By enabling other payment processors to thrive and achieve greater success, it sets a new standard for collaboration and innovation across the industry. This is not something that PayPal has been working on before Alex Chris has got there. Okay. This idea in these partnerships is really what Alex Chris is really there to do. The actual intricate engineering parts, better consumer, products and these sort of things. Yes, he gets to determine the amount of capital that gets pushed in those certain projects and everything, but he doesn't have the direct hands-on efforts that he would with true partnerships, right? This is really where he gets to shine. And you're going to see, hopefully, if he is going to be that great leader that we all think that he could be, more and more partnerships just like this with greater and greater effects to the share price. So far, very good. The one right before this was the fact that PayPal is potentially the next candidate for Apple's products now that they're opening up their NFC technology. PayPal has already talked about the fact that they really want to get in there, allow people to utilize that NFC technology, meaning that they can make offline purchases or go in with your phone, an Apple device to be specific. I'm Samsung, but you can go in to the POS system, right? Point of sale terminal, tap and actually make a transaction, not just through Apple Pay, but through PayPal as well, or through could be anything, right? Venmo as well, or Cash App, or some Bitcoin wallet, something like this. It's all accessible now. Very, very fun. So don't start this Canadian hatred. I see Canadian hate in the chat. Enough. No, I know you guys are joking, but I was talking about how options are live on SoFi, and I think Tanner said that they are not. Apologize for my ignorance. No, so no problem. So there's a difference between level 2 options and level 1 options. So you're able to buy calls and puts. You're not allowed to sell calls and puts. That's a little bit of the difference there. So, if you want to do covered call strategies, cash secured puts, these sort of things, you're not able to do those on SoFi just yet. It's probably a 2025 effort. But no problem. This is all we're doing here. This is a channel to do questions and answers and find out a little bit more about stocks that you know and love, or potentially ones that I can convince you to know and love, like a company like Adyen, or potentially, should I get into Shopify? How many people leave whenever I go to talk about Shopify? Okay, I am not going to get into Shopify. What I will say, and everyone can do their information on their own, their little due diligence, they continue to partner with the best companies on earth. And for some reason, those companies are not choosing to build things in-house. They are partnering with Shopify because they have tools that they know they cannot replicate. That's all I'll say. Okay? If you believe a company can get past e-commerce and go to commerce in general, the total addressable market there is some of the largest in the world. Very exciting. I'm up 24% on my PayPal position. Yeah, I know. If you look at the charts over the last 5 years, everyone can say that PayPal investors are down. But I wasn't talking about this company whenever it was 90, 80, or even $70. We were talking underneath this. I was saying, hey, you know what? This has dropped a heck of a lot and now might be worth a look, right? Um, ba, ba, ba. Tanner, can you talk more about how falling interest rates can help SoFi so much, in turn helping the stock price? I talked about that all yesterday, my friend. So that was literally the entire show. Um, if you didn't see that, it's pretty interesting, but I don't have too much more content on that specific thing that I didn't talk about yesterday. I mean, there's a couple other facets, I guess, if you want me to add on. SoFi Invest, for example, their brokerage will see more activity if there's less, risk-free money to be made in T-bills and these sort of things. Which it's not like that product is going away, but that's tied to the Fed funds rate. So if that goes down, then there's less risk-free money to be made. Then people will get used to a level of returns and potentially seek that out in equity markets. And if those people are in the SoFi brokerages and everything like this, they're going to chase those green markets because trillions of dollars could flow in. And then, all their friends tell their friends that the stock market is working. And then that's where retail ends up pouring in. It's a sad fact. The truth is that the people who have been watching this show through the hardest times of the last couple of years are the people who are going to get stunningly rich. Because, or well, not necessarily. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Actually, that came across that way. I want to revert a little bit. It's not that like, oh, it's this channel. I'm saying the people who are focused on stocks when prices were extremely low through red times are the people who can enjoy the times whenever it turns green. Right. That's the sort of the point I'm trying to get across here. I think there's a mass amount, the high majority of people who dabble in stock markets only do it whenever times are good. And those people are only there to elevate the stock prices for the smart money so then they can dump on them. And then retail says that it's a rigged game designed only for rich people. I disagree. I mean, the tools are there. Okay. You know how to do the research in stocks. You know how to buy them. You can buy them for commission free rates at most brokerages, right? Including that one right there. And not only that, but you're not told when to buy or sell. So aside from a few days where some buy buttons were taken away, I mean, it's been pretty good for retail. So it's you guys that make the decision to buy high, sell low. Now, Pete, my question. Where is your question? Where is your question? I don't see your question. I see you saying, Pete, my question, and that's it. Oh, it's all the way up here. Hey, Tanner, I've been looking at Toast. It passes all my personal metrics for an investment in a growth stock. The only issue, it seems to be the valuation. Well, you know, ask yourself what you're looking for in that stock and then run it past Shift 4 and see if that passes those metrics. And then tell me if you like that stock better because the valuation is much lower and they're in the exact same industry. So I'm not anti-Toast. They could be great, but the valuation on Toast scares me as well. So I don't have, I can't sell you on a stock I don't believe in. Still not rich. I have SoFi. Yeah, well, markets haven't turned. Fed, listen, boys. All right. And the 6% ladies audience in the chat as well. We respect you as well. But I'm so stupid, man. Listen, the rates are still high. Okay. So I'm not talking about being rich today. I'm talking about being rich whenever that goes down, risk-free money goes from money market funds on into equities, and then equities rise, and then retail pours in, and then the smart money starts to trim or take profits. It's not I'm not saying that this is why I won't put a timeline on it. I don't know the timeline. I can't presume to understand that. What I can is know that that's happened in all times in all of history in the stock markets. There are ladies in the chat. Yes. Yes, there are. Yeah, there's a couple. I see a couple in the chat. Um, PayPal to 90. I could see that. Give yourself some credit, Tanner. You've had a lot of great buys over the past few years, and they're on solid companies. Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, PayPal might be one of those companies where I'm trying to make a buck on a stock or on a company that I don't respect as much as some of my other names, right? Like whenever I'm talking about, SoFi or Nubank or Shift4, these are companies that I think will do great for decades, right? Uh, PayPal, I don't know that it's going to do well for decades. So, yeah. 6% is up from 4. You know what? I think we're bringing in a wider audience for sure. You have to think about it. Like in terms of just overall YouTube metrics, it's not male dominated. I'm sure finance is, but that's actually changing. There's a lot more female investors today than there was, let's say, 5 or even 10 years ago. So they'll make their way onto the YouTubes, Okay. Now, what else do we have? Okay, so SoFi. Let's jump in to some SoFi. I just want to show you a quick chart. All right. Let's call it the FRCAR. Huh? What does this look like? So the Federal Reserve Consolidated Assets ranking is the rankings that they give to all banks, all commercially large banks. I think they have to have over 200 million or 500 million in assets, something like that. Anyway, since SoFi has become a bank in Q1 of 2022, we were rated 449th on that list at the time. Okay. As time has gone on, well, all banks are trying to grow and thrive and make a lot of money. So has SoFi, and they've been doing it at a faster and faster pace. So we've actually got ourselves down to the 69th place in Q2 of 2024. Give a round of applause to SoFi. They are quickly becoming a very large bank in America, right? So whenever I saw 75 to 74, I was like, all right, well, you know what? The pace is going to have to start slowing down because we are up against some very gigantic names. Like even the difference between first and second is a couple SoFis. It's an unbelievable difference. I can bring up the actual consolidated ranking here for you guys, so you can just take a quick peek see. But yeah, it's interesting how fast SoFi is growing. All right. So, who would have guessed? JP Morgan right at the very, very top. Consolidated assets versus the next one, Bank of America. Just a solid, what is that, $1 trillion difference? No biggie from first to second, all the way down to 69th place. We have the great and powerful SoFi. And as we continue to grow, we're going to start passing some more of these names. But once we start getting into this range, more like here, once we start getting here, the differences between every bank is extremely large. And that will be a very long and cumbersome climb. But 69th place, I'm happy to be in the top 100. And as SoFi continues to grow, that'll be very interesting. And where's Lending Club, by the way? Because Lending Club used to be bigger than us. Oh, 143rd. Yeah, good bank, guys. It's not my favorite. I like the banks that grow, personally. But to the people who don't, that's fine. I'm going to see a couple DMs for that one. But yeah. Why won't PayPal do good for a decade? So I think it's just a matter of a ton of bloat and branding problems. I mean, they could turn around. I'm not saying they couldn't, but they are a market share losing company. Apple Pay is growing faster than PayPal. There are a bunch of companies that are growing faster than PayPal, And whenever you were the most dominant player, if you just start to shrink even a little, or sorry, if you start to not grow as fast, you're actually shrinking because all those other ones have to make up the rest of the pie. So they are slowly, for a while they were losing active customers and everything. That is starting to turn around, but is it a little too late? I don't know. So I guess it's not that they can't do good for a decade. It's just my conviction on the fact that they'll do good is a little bit different, right? Like Adyen is doing phenomenally on the enterprise payment side. Can PayPal do well as well? I mean, yes, but they're kind of constricted to a couple things that are not exciting. Like, so one of the reasons that I heard that Adyen is doing much better than PayPal is the fact that if you do choose PayPal for enterprise payments, you have to include the fact that there is some level of a PayPal checkout button. Okay. Where Adyen has no relationship to an actual payment, like payment checkout company. So all they focus on is, hey, you're the merchant, you choose what you want. So if you want Apple Pay, sure. If you want Google Pay, fine. And then they also really specialize on bringing in all of the local payments of places like, France versus Germany, tons of different payment styles there, all the way up to Sweden. Like the differences in local payment styles is very, very different. So they specialize in that, and they give the tools to the merchant to say, hey, you get to pick. And by the way, we're not going to do this, and we're not going to design this by buying any software or any sort of M&A or anything. Everything that they have is built in-house. That sort of ability to do that allows you to have some of the lowest operating costs, and that's why they're dominating. Not only are they growing faster than Braintree, Braintree's growth is sort of shrinking. It's still good, but it's shrinking. Well, Adyen's growth is accelerating, right? So, yeah, very cool. I just took some profits on SoFi. I'll rebuy hopefully at $7. Not thinking we'll see under 6 again, but if it happens, I'll buy there too. You're playing a dangerous game. You're playing a dangerous game. See, I love Dream. Dream is good, but we disagree sometimes. This is the conversation that I had previously where I said, when do you know that the breakout is going to happen? If you think that this stock is going to break $10, $11, $12 a share, when does that happen? Right? Because if we don't 100% know, and you're relying on historically what the stock has done, then this trade could be good. But if you miss it, you're going to miss it. And then you're not going to buy at 8. You're not going to buy at 9. You're not going to buy at 10. You're going to wait for it to come back down to 7. And it might never happen again. Very risky to buy and sell stocks that you want for the long term. Very risky. I'm not making fun of Dream. Don't start making fun of Dream. But okay, you guys are already. They're offering lower interest rates on refi right now, Tanner. Good rate for home loans. Yeah, I mean we've disagreed before. Dream's great. I hope he sticks around because it's good to disagree and then still have a ton of respect. I love this community, guys. Let's talk some stocks. Let's do it. I'm a big SoFi shareholder. These double triple beats are great, but may not deserve the tech multiple. The haters say they are a bank. I'd like to disagree, but Rev Growth says they are right. But Rev Growth says that they're right as it's a bank? What other bank do you know that's growing revenue at that rate? I'd like to know that. Because I've looked at it, and there's not one. You can find similar ones. Sorry, not similar. You can find like fast growing ones like Axios or EQ or something like that, and even that they'll be off by double digits. Amit is even questioning if they can get to 10 in 2 years. I mean, cool. Uh, I like Amit. We get along as friends, but we don't always see eye to eye on in investments. And uh, yeah, I don't think even Amit would disagree with the fact that I'm I think I know this company better than most. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from Amit. I know this company better than Amit, right? I know the competitive nature that they have. I think that they deserve more than $10 today. Do I think over the next 2 years that um, the rate environment will favor banks and potentially end up giving them a fair value multiple, especially in a time where they're going to 10x EPS? I mean, good luck, but I think it's going to be much higher than that. Um, with rates low, with rates lowering and loan market picking back up, what are the primary risks associated with investing in SoFi right now? I guess just a recession, total loan market increase, defaults, these sort of things. You know, they could have a quarter where they end up having negative revenue because their loans just perform so badly. So there's always risk, right? And more risk associated to financial services or banks than other companies because of that aspect. Um, but I think the risk is worth the reward, because I don't think that's going to happen. But there's always risks. Can you explain why you'd pick SoFi over four if you had to pick one? SoFi owns the customer. Um, I think B2C is a much better business for you to be able to charge a premium for your services. I find B2B companies have much more competitive pricing because the customer is extremely smart and will shop rates and stuff like this. So um, I I think that innovations in AI and all of these things are going to drastically out benefit SoFi than it would Shift 4. Um, but both businesses are great. Everyone talks about one stock over another. I don't have to pick one. That's the great thing, right? It's like, yeah, if I had to pick one stock, it would probably be neither of these. Like my yeah, I don't know. The largest stock I hold on to right now, or the largest three, is Nvidia, Shopify, and Tesla. I'd probably pick one of those. um, no problem, Sigig. Tanner, I preach SoFi in the Weeble platform on the Weeble platform daily. Spitting common sense. It's insane in there. Much safer in this chat. I mean, yeah, yeah. Especially if you go to an active trading platform and use those communities, like they care about share price. Trying to go in there and be like, let's have a conversation about fundamentals. I mean, you're much better placed in sort of a community that does talk about fundamentals. I find Seeking Alpha or something like this is communities where you can talk more about the fundamentals of a business rather than just the stock price. And it's probably not as insane of an area as one of those active trading comment sections. Um, let's see. I can't get behind shop for some reason. You should talk about it more on the channel. Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, the problem is that anytime I do talk about it, everyone jumps like jumps ship. So there's a little mix between things that I want to talk about and then things that you guys want to hear from me about. So yeah, I mean that it's definitely a good course like thing because I find that that's an area where I can talk about stuff and go really super in detail, and then it doesn't affect my algorithm or something like that. And then it also is rewarding my time. But yeah, and YouTube rewards my time, but only really awards my time if people watch, unfortunately. But that's just the name of the game. How would you rate SoFi in terms of innovation? Haven't really seen much innovation from them at all. Much higher than I think people would give them credit for. I'd place them pretty high. Would I place them with the new banks and the, uh, you know, Adyen, Shopify's, Teslas of the world? No, no. But I'd place them pretty high. Can you explain for Hood why the revenue growth estimate for 2025 is only 5%? Because Wall Street estimates think it's going to slow down, I guess. I don't know, brother. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be much, much faster than that. They might actually break revenue growth this quarter of 50% year over year. 50%. Maybe those are hard comps, maybe. But in that sort of same rate cutting environment, more equity activity, I don't believe it. Um, can rates dropping help Hood? If so, how? Well, that more market activity. You know, more transactions being had allows Robinhood to make more money. Um, that'll be offset by their net interest revenue while they make more transactional revenue. But yeah, they'll still be able to make lots of money with rates coming down. That company is really born in an environment where rates were extremely low. Like that's when things did really well for Robinhood. The scary part was that transition to net interest revenue. People maybe thought that they wouldn't survive. That did happen. The problem is that I think Robinhood does well in both environments. How do they do during the transitions? Um, I've never seen them in an interest rate cutting environment. 69th biggest bank. Nice. Is there anything stopping Hood from getting a bank charter? Yeah, Vlad Tenev's want to. I don't think he wants to anymore. They did look into it in 2019. You can actually look. They applied or whatever, and then going through the whole rigmarole, I think they actually backed out of it. But um, I don't think they are going to. Could be for international expansion. Uh, you know, less compliance issues allows them to move maybe faster. But yeah, bro, why ignore my question? I'm reading through tons of questions. Does it make sense for Upstart to be at like $40 right now? Good question. I'll yes, it can make sense if traders think that. So the thing with Upstart is that it has the ability for revenue to like 10x. And I mean like literally quarter over quarter. Not a whole lot of companies can say that. I mean, there has been actual quarters where they have shown off them 4-5xing revenue quarter over quarter. Quarter over quarter. That can happen for Upstart. Okay? Whether it does happen, okay, I'll ignore your I just answered it unfortunately. Whether it happens or not, that is, not something that I'm going to take a guess on, but they could be the product that Citigroup uses to underwrite their personal loans, their HELOCs, their small dollar loans, something like that. They only need one of those customers, and then sky's the limit. So, yeah, that is the problem. Could Hood and SoFi get together? Doubt it. What could be the next catalyst for SoFi or Hood? And I mean, big catalyst, if it could be anything in your dreams. I don't know. That's something that I have to think about. Yeah. Anything in my dream? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. More product offerings that have greater margins. that's what I'm thinking. Essentially, like what makes the best stocks in the world, it's a pretty easy equation. Look for companies that have accelerating revenue growth while also accelerating margins, right? Extremely hard to find. You find it, you found yourself an amazing pick. You can get that stock at a premium that might show it at like less than one peg, and you have yourself an unbelievable winner. SoFi can be that name, by the way. Like their revenue growth right now is coming down in an environment where rates are shrinking. That can absolutely reaccelerate. Well, margins have so much more room to grow. You don't have to look too much further than that. Tanner, not sure if you saw this, just more marketing for SoFi. I think you probably sent a link, but I can't see anything. That's the whole entirety of your message that I see, unfortunately. Palantir is that company. You know what? Definitely. That, like, I am not doubting that at all. At all. I think that's why the stock is 33. I don't even know what it is today, but I think it was like $33 recently. The problem is 32.30 right now. The problem with Palantir, in my opinion, is that if we go year to date, it was it was $15.60 at the low, or sorry, no, 1740 something. It was up 84.47% year to date. Okay. Is it priced in? I don't know. I don't know, dude. Like it's the next part of my equation, if I can build on that equation, is that does the market already see it happening? Because Nvidia did 100% that, right? But then it gets priced adequately. And then people go, oh, wow, it's really accelerating. It's really accelerating. The stock just takes off. Can you see something before that happens where you can get it at a price that you think will, it'll go up over time? There's a couple more steps to that equation as well. But if you can check off as many boxes that suit a business that is accelerating growth, bettering margins, lowering operating costs, go down the whole list. The people who have the course know the exact list I'm talking about. You'll find yourself a good stock. If it doesn't fit that list, potentially stop buying it. We got to find more things to price in for the stock to keep running. I mean, and this is a comment from ETF, so I know it's like 100% this is a joke, but I'm trying to take like actual meaning from it. In some way, this is what I do. Like I'll just look through a company and look through it and look through it and try to find like, okay, well, what are they working on and where does the extra growth come from? But yeah. Let's see what was else in the news, because I dropped off that for a sec. So PayPal hitting a 52-week high for the first time since 2021. Very exciting. They're partnering with Adyen, which was really the big boost of the day. And I think that the Apple news is also very exciting. I don't think both are priced in. So there could be some very exciting things over the short term. Let's also remember that this is not pricing in their ad platform or probably a lot of that sort of dual-sided commerce. They've already played around with that with the enterprise clients offering discounted, selling within their app. So you can get like Walmart 3% off. And then if you also pair that with the credit card, you get another 3% off. So shopping at Walmart 6 or 7% off is an amazing deal. What's sort of the next big play there is sort of what Shopify is already doing, right? Which is that sort of shop app, right? Where you get all of the really high-end, very trusted, merchants to come together and sort of make its own Amazon. And then you allow PayPal users to have the exclusive right to shop that. And then, PayPal essentially is facilitating the transaction, paying out their merchants, and, increasing gross margin volume, potentially bringing on exclusive users that want that feature, while all not having to pay any outside payment companies to also help with that transaction. It's the ultimate experience. SoFi could do that if they had a merchant base. Nubank is doing that right now, just starting. PayPal is going to be doing that. Cash App's going to be doing that. It's the hallmark of fintech over the next little bit. This is what you guys are going to start seeing. Tanner, if SoFi goes to $25 in 2026 or by 2026, I'll buy your course. Sounds like a deal. Sounds like a deal, guy. Yeah, ETF gives 100% life advice 100% of the time. A correction is coming, which the whole market will drop like it always does. Sure. But more money is lost anticipating the correction than simply buying stocks and holding through them. So, my advice to this comment, which could absolutely be true, corrections happen all the time, is don't think about it. Don't worry about it. They are the shortest of duration, and they are not going to affect your total returns. In fact, they might actually harm your total returns if you wait for that correction to buy. If you DCA in and see that opportunity and put a couple extra shekels in whenever it's a little bit lower, or potentially double your DCA whenever you're at a lower value, great. That's perfectly fine. But I wouldn't not buy now, because historically that has been a strategy that has harmed investors. Are you looking into REITs and real estate? No. I'm not saying that won't be an absolute place where a ton of people can make money. I've just been really good at sticking to what I know. Not always. I shouldn't say I've been good at that, but I like to. And yeah, I don't chase gains. I like. It's not the way I invest. I've got like rules, and I try to stick by them, and I break them from time to time. But I definitely don't get FOMO about other people's sectors. Historically speaking, technology, like information technology and other tech sectors, have been the greatest investment ever. Where can I find your course? It's down in the description, futureinvesting.pro. Just here. It's that link. This little one. There you go. Have cash on the side, have green positions to cash out of whenever. It's easy, Michael G's. How long have you... Oh, You're just sorry. I thought that was have cash on the side, have green positions to cash out of whenever. Okay, I got it. Yeah, ETFs link is definitely better. All right. If you have a lump sum of cash, do you DCA over time or put it in as quickly as possible into the markets? I mean, this is my answer would change over time, but historically, probably DCA over time. But I've definitely broken that streak for sure, many, many times. I also don't see a lot of lumps of cash happen. Like I've been uh, just getting paychecks, putting them into stock markets, and the only lumps of cash that I see is from selling, and I usually trim my positions all the way down. So I never find myself with like, oh, I have double the my portfolio to deploy. No, it's like I probably have, you know, 10% at most, and then I'll go and just DCA that over time. Will Vlad start using the future of finance as Hood slogan? So they did. Like I got retweeted by Vlad and then retweeted by Robinhood's account. So that was crazy. However, I don't know if they buy viewers or something like that, because that like they retweeted that and it got no traction at all. You have like 1.1 million followers, and I think it got like 12 likes. I'm like, what? And then Vlad's, who he only has like 200,000 followers only, but you know, 1/5 the amount less, and it got like 800 likes or something like that. So I don't know what shady stuff Robinhood's doing, but I'm just kidding. To the future of finance. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show, but I'm going to get going. I know that's not my regular sign off. I've got a headache. It's gotten better over the show, though. I mean, you guys have really gotten me in a good mood today. I love having these conversations with you guys. I got to figure out a way that I can do this more often, but I'm still working full time. So thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. Bye for now.